Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this is a very sad state of affairs that took place with this mother and her two children, and this case is embalmed with depression, anxiety, stress, fatherless homes, and sometimes people get into a dark doldrum and feel that they are entangled and entrapped within their own demise and depression and suffering. And sometimes people feel like they don't have a way out. And I am alleging that this is what took place with this mother. And depression is real, and people that are suffering need to reach out and get the proper resources and help that one needs at the most dire times in their lives, versus what this mother tragically did to her two children. So this is coming straight out of Festus, Missouri, where a mother was charged after admitting to killing two children Tuesday morning, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says. A 36-year-old woman was charged after police said she admitted to fatally shooting one of her children and drowning another in Festus. Ashley Parmalee was initially charged Tuesday with one count of second-degree murder in the death of her 2-year-old son. After obtaining additional information from investigators, prosecutors announced on Wednesday that the charge had been upgraded to first-degree murder. Also on Wednesday, the St. Francis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office charged Parmalee with one count each of first-degree murder and armed criminal action in the death of her 9-year-old daughter. So she has allegedly killed her son and her 9-year-old daughter. In a press conference, Jefferson County Sheriff Dave Marshak said the woman called police from the parking lot of the Festus Police Department at about 10:30 a.m. and said she shot one of her children and drowned the other. The woman was wet and a little disheveled when officers met her in the parking lot, Marshak said. This situation is a tragedy for our community. It's a tragedy for the family and the victims and everybody that knows this family. When officers responded to the car, they found a 9-year-old girl in the trunk with a gunshot wound. The girl was pronounced dead at the scene. Police recovered a firearm from the woman's vehicle. According to a probable cause statement, Miss Parmalee told police she was driving on Highway E in St. Francis County and pulled over near a lake or a pond, where she shot her daughter. Police obtained footage from a nearby camera which showed Parmalee's vehicle at the location, and witnesses in the area reported hearing a gunshot at the time her vehicle was there. The Festus R6 School District on Tuesday confirmed that the 9-year-old victim was Scarlett Parmalee, who had just completed the 3rd grade at Festus Elementary School. What a sad story. Counselors would be available on Wednesday and Thursday at the elementary school for students and staff members who need support during this difficult time, the district said in a statement. Marshak said the woman told police that she drowned her other child at a resort in the area. Officers responded to Timber Creek Resort, which matched the woman's description. In a fountain in front of the resort, they found a 2-year-old boy, unconscious and not breathing. A deputy swam to the boy, brought him to the shore, and attempted life-saving treatment, but the child was pronounced dead a short time later. A GoFundMe page was created to help cover the boy's funeral costs. Marshak could not confirm whether the woman was staying at the resort, but said she was part of the Festus community. He said, "We take this well-being, we take their well-being very seriously. The sheriff's office immediately dispatched our mental health and crisis response team, along with chaplains, to support those officers and all of the other first responders who were negatively impacted by this and will continue for some time. I spoke with one of the officers regarding the crime scene out here earlier, and he said, 'Sheriff, this was a tough one for me. It had to be for these first responders. Police believe the woman who admitted to killing the children was their mother. He said he believes the woman shot the 9-year-old girl before drowning the 2-year-old boy. Marshak said his department had originally been working to locate another child who the woman had once had custody of, and that child was later found safe. He asked for prayers for the community, the victims. He asked for prayers for the family, the victims, and the community. I know it's impacting this community. I walked into a business earlier and everybody was talking about it. Says it's disruptive and unsettling for our community. It's such a tragedy," Marshak said. The children had been both well and accounted for on Monday night and were both alive earlier in that morning, Marshak said. Police have not released a motive. Parmalee is being held at the Jefferson County Jail without bond. A GoFundMe campaign was created, as I said earlier, to help for funeral costs for both Scarlett and her little brother. The Festus R6 School District issued the following statement on Tuesday. "It is with sadness and heavy hearts that the Festus R6 School District can confirm that Scarlett Parmalee, who was the 9-year-old victim of today's tragic events, had just completed the 3rd grade at Festus Elementary School. Scarlett's teachers and administrators say she was a bubbly, energetic, and trustworthy student. They say she was caring and compassionate, eager to please, with a good sense of humor. She would make friends with anyone, and she was very much looking forward to moving on to the 4th grade when classes resumed in August of this year." They also said the thoughts and prayers of the entire Festus R6 School District are with Scarlett's family and friends during this difficult time. In times of such sorrow, it is important to come together to support one another. We have arranged for grief counselors to be available at Festus Elementary for students and staff members who may need assistance. These professionals will provide and help those affected to navigate through this difficult period. Our district counselors, along with counselors from Compass Health, will be available for students and staff members. The Holiday Inn Club Vacations, which operates Timber Creek Resort, provided the following statement on Wednesday. Said, "Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends during this tremendously difficult time. At this time, we are fully cooperating with law enforcement and have taken all necessary measures to ensure the safety and security of our guests and staff. At this time, as this is an ongoing investigation, we are unable to provide any further details." It also mentions that says our primary concern remains the well-being of our guests and staff, and we're going to do everything possible to support those affected. And then there's some things about if you have been a victim of a crime or know someone who has been, Five on Your Side has compiled a list of resources. The Crime Victim Center of St. Louis has multiple programs to support victims of crimes. Crime Victim Center's programs range from direct services to crime victims, as well as creating awareness and change within the systems they encounter. What a very sad commentary. Evidently, this young lady felt that she had no way out. I'm not saying that her behavior and what she did to her 2 children was acceptable. Absolutely not. But I am clearly uh, feel heartfelt to say that I don't think that this mother birthing these two children had any intent on someday down the road killing her own two children. She must have been at the bottom of the barrel on wanting to live. Um, why she didn't take her own life is very interesting. And for her to be able to look into her children's eyes and then to take their lives from them. She gave them life and then she took their lives. Uh, this has to be mental illness at the top of the paradigm. Our middle class today, with the political scene and everything that's going on, inflation, post the pandemic, you are seeing a lot of people suffering. I talk about in my videos all the time that there's a lot of chaos and disruption that's taking place in our cities and our communities, but there's also a lot of chaos and disruption that's taking place in the four walls of many people's homes. And if you are suffering and feel there's no way out, you should reach out to family members, to medical staff. There are ancillary services where you can find some help, or at least that should be the first measuring stick. Also, supposedly in this storyline, the mother had shown signs on Facebook where on her Facebook page she had removed her picture and it was just a black circle. As investigators started looking back at her history, her social media history, and what was going on with her, which led to this heinous crime that she committed against her two children. So she was giving some telltale signs on her Facebook page and feeling like there was no way out and she didn't have any friends or anyone to talk to. And as I stated earlier, you got to reach out to positive family members. There are medical services that are here in the psychological and psychiatric environment where she could have had at least somebody to talk to, or even get a 72-hour hold in a mental institution to see if she could pull it together. As opposed to her reaction was to take her depression, her no way out on her children. They did not deserve this. They were at the very beginning of their lives. They lived in Festus, which is a nice area. They gave all appearances that they were doing okay, but evidently there was something going on with the mother that she could not find any way out. That's not making an excuse. She has to pay the piper for the crimes that she committed against her own children. I think the state made the appropriate reaction by charging her, by upgrading it from second-degree murder to first-degree murder. And unfortunately, she is going to be buried. Whatever she was going through preceding the murders of her children, what she is going to go through post this onslaught is going to be a life on earth in hell. Inmates she is going to have a rough time getting life in prison, and everybody knows that she just killed her two children, shot one and then drowned the other. It can't be any more personal and diabolic than that. That demon that she has needs to be exorcised. I don't know if she will ever recover from this, and if there's any mental therapy that will restore her. Her children are gone, and she is going to live this nightmare the rest of her entire life, and what it has done to her family, the kids' family, the father of these children. This is going to resonate throughout the entire Festus community, and I think around the world, where we need, and even in this country, where we need to talk about mental illness. It needs to be at the top of the medical paradigm, not at the bottom. There are supposedly, statistically, something like 25% of Americans are suffering from some form of depression. Our social services and our medical departments need to do a better job by being approachable and reachable for these individuals to get help. And what I mean by that, if you break an arm, you can get to the emergency room and be seen by a doctor almost immediately. It's something visible and tangible. But if you go to the hospital and say that you're suffering a mental breakdown, sometimes people get turned away, unless you're saying you are going to harm yourself or others. But there are people suffering, and there are people that need help, and sometimes they feel there is no way out. And this is a classic case of this. And this is happening more often than not, where family members are harming each other. There's enough stress and danger out here in our cities, and public safety has had a huge strain. We have low numbers. Our numbers are declining for police officers. We do have some corrupt police officers that doesn't put a great light on our police departments. However, we need a healthy public safety system. We need a healthy mental health system to deter some of these kinds of storylines that have taken place. This is so sad. I have 3 children of my own, and the last thing I would want to do is to harm myself or harm them. This story and what was going on, there had to be signs and symptoms that she was not in a good place. And did people turn a blind eye, whether it was family members, neighbors? Did she ever reach out to get help? She did make some indications on her Facebook page, but of course nobody's going to take that seriously. And for her to lose all of her humanity and hope by helping one person every day, she ended up doing the most demonic thing that you can do, and that was to harm and unfortunately kill her own 2 children. She's going to end up in prison if she doesn't get the death penalty, and the rest of her life, being in her late 30s, is not going to be in a good, healthy, sustainable place. There is a huge realm of darkness over this situation, and it's very unfortunate. Tell me what you think. This is a sad story. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.